Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Good morning, it's the Workers Beat. I'm Gene Lantz, and here is...
Bonnie Mathias. Good morning.
Bonnie, tell us what's going to come up this week.
Oh, my goodness. First and foremost, if you live in DISD District 6, this is the runoff between Joyce Foreman and Miss Watley.
Yeah, and all the union people are over there at the teachers all calling for Miss Foreman.
Yes, for Miss Foreman, that's right. Mm-hmm. So everybody needs to get out to vote. Polls are open 7 to 7. This is for DISD District 6. And I think it's part of South Oak Cliff and South Dallas. You know how these districts are drawn. They're all weird.
But you know, hardly anybody's going to vote, so your vote's going to count a whole bunch.
That's right. That's right. So get out and vote if that is your DISD school district. And if you don't know, call somebody and find out.
Mm-hmm. It's in the paper.
Yeah, it's in the paper. That's true. Mm-hmm. That's right. It's always in the paper.
Right.
June 21st, that's today. At 5 o'clock at the Pan-African Connection Bookstore, Art Gallery, and Resource Center, and that is right across from Fair Park at 828 4th Avenue. There will be remembering Cheney, Goodman, and Schwerner, and those were the 3 young men who were murdered by the Klan for trying to register voters in Mississippi. Mm-hmm. That was Mississippi Burning, I believe, was based on that.
The name of the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a fake movie, but
it was, but you know.
Really good about Cheney, Schwerner, and Goodman.
Yes, it was. Okay, June 23rd, that is Monday, 8 to 5:30, White House Summit on Working Families. Ooh, at Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson's office. The Department of Labor conducted a labor community meeting on Juneteenth, and they are improving the overtime laws.
Yeah, boy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be including like salaried employees, some salaried employees.
Yeah, Rod Givens called and said to try to get people to come to Congresswoman's office on Monday, and that's over on McKinney.
Yes.
I don't think the address is written down there.
No, it's not. But I'll bet you can look it up online.
Yeah.
And find that address. June 25th, that is Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday at 11:30. The OCOS meeting is at Alliance AFT. That's at 334 Center Street in Dallas. That's over in the Bishop Arts District. Mm-hmm. What is the OCOS, Gene?
Our community, our schools.
That's right. Okay, sorry.
That's who we were yesterday.
That's who we were yesterday.
We were
That's
standing
right.
out in front of the Omni Hotel.
That was fun.
Uh-huh.
That was really fun. We'll get to that in a minute. June 26th, that's Thursday, from 6 to 7:30. The Young Workers Committee meeting is going to be meeting at 604 North Great Southwest Parkway in Arlington.
Yeah, let's kind of clarify that. You don't have to be a union member to be in there.
Right.
And I don't think you even have to be young. I think you just have to be young at heart.
Yeah, you can. Anybody is welcome at this, and they're going to
do
be
a
common
lesson.
sense economics.
Yeah, they're going to teach people about economics.
And it's free. It's free, and this is a very simple, but not dumbed down explanation about economics, because economics is kind of hard to understand.
Did you take the same course down there in San Antonio?
I did not take this class.
They took a course down there, and the young workers were there.
Was at the
Rieger
CLLI? I'll take that back. I did take this class. I'm so sorry. Yes, I was there. That was at the community labor.
You really learned a lot, didn't you?
I did. I swear to God. I did take this class at the Community Labor Leadership Institute in San Antonio, and it was very interesting.
Yeah, that's what they're going to teach.
That's going to be, man, that's a great thing to do. If you're, but don't forget, it's also CWA union meeting night at 7:30 that night. So
You
could
better
be.
give the address again.
This is
for the meeting.
604 North Great Southwest Parkway in Arlington, and that's 76011. DallasYoungWorkers@gmail.com. You can contact them and ask any questions. June 27th, Friday, 9 a.m., Labor Retirees meeting at the Democratic Convention at the Dallas Convention Center.
I'll be there.
Well, I should have known. That's right. And the convention actually starts on Wednesday? Friday. Okay.
It starts on Friday the 27th, and it's down at the Convention Center, and that's the Democratic Party convention. I hope they don't write a platform like the Republicans did. Man, that Republican platform just got published this week, and it was such. For example, it says right up front, it says that we want to cut education spending at all levels.
Yep, that's right.
It says money does not help education.
Nope.
It said, so we want to take away the money.
Take away the money, because then everybody will learn better, because there won't be any money in the schools.
You know, they can stand, they'll be more awake if they don't have any desks.
Oh, okay.
If they don't have any books, and they won't have to waste time reading.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's smart.
Well, hey, why even go?
Anyway, the Democrats have their convention in Dallas.
Yes.
Starting Friday, and 9 o'clock is the retired workers part. And you don't have to be a union member to go to those things.
No, absolutely not.
You don't even have to be a retired worker.
Yep.
It's anybody that's interested in retired workers.
Yep. June 27th. That's also on Friday at noon. The Labor Caucus is at the State Democratic Convention.
That'll be the Texas AFL-CIO.
Yes. And also, the Texas AFL-CIO is meeting at the same time as the LGBT caucus is meeting. So, folks, you're going to have to split your time. That's all I can tell you. You got to flip a coin. That's about. I think that's what I would have to do. I would have to flip a coin. Because, they're both they're two of the most progressive movements in Texas.
That's true.
And it would be nice to be able to, the same people be able to attend both.
And they're both struggling, but have a greatly increasing power in voting. Voting.
Yes, and in the airline industry, I mean, we have 3 major airlines that are based here. And we have a huge number of flight attendants and TWU workers, and many of those folks are LGBT as well.
TWU is Transport Workers Union.
Yes. So, it's kind of frustrating because it is important that we're involved in both of those issues. And labor, folks, it's not about being a union member. It's about being a worker. It is no longer, the union is trying very hard, AFL-CIO, CWA, UAW, trying very hard to reach out to the general population, if you will. If you're a worker, you're part of labor. So, you need to be there. And on Saturday, a meeting for our ALEC takes place on Saturday, the 28th at 10. So I'm not sure I don't know where that's going to be. We'll have to find out. We'll have to find out.
Hang on just a minute. We'll put you on the air.
Okay, we got somebody on the air, or coming on the air.
I don't know how to do it.
Hit the button that's lit up. Hit the button that's lit up.
Okay. Hello?
She's on the air?
Hi. Good morning.
You want to know more about the Eddie Bernice Johnson thing?
Okay. Are you still there?
Just tell her about
the Eddie Bernice Johnson is the White House Summit on Working Families, and that is Monday from 8 to 5:30 at Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson's office.
Over on McKinney.
And the Department of Labor conducted a labor community meeting on Juneteenth. They're going to be improving the overtime laws, and I'm guessing that they're going to be discussing this and other things at this meeting. So
I'm sure they will.
Monday from 8 to 5:30.
This is like a dividend for having elected President Obama. He's actually gotten some wages to go up.
He has.
Even though Congress has been fighting it like crazy. He's actually brought up some wages. This is like County Judge Clay Jenkins has also brought up some wages, and trying to do this even though the powers that be, are against it.
Right.
The rich people.
Rich people.
That's what I mean.
Exactly.
And did you get to the last thing on the Democratic convention? Because there's an ALEC meeting.
There is on Saturday the 28th at 10 o'clock, and that's at the Democratic committee or convention as well.
Yeah, they have a big long resolution against the American Legislative Exchange Council that was passed by the Texas Democratic Party. And it's kind of a model for other groups, like unions and other groups are passing that same resolution because it was such a good one. It explains that American Legislative Exchange Council is a bunch of rat finks.
That's putting it so nicely.
Well, I was trying
to keep it clean.
I want to be as academic as I possibly can.
Well, of course.
So these rat finks are trying to cut your throats and your wages and your benefits and your government agencies, everything that could be of any help to you at all, is trying to be cut by the American Legislative Exchange Council, and they're coming to Dallas on July 30th.
I'm so glad. I can't wait. We have an Unwelcome to Dallas party for them.
Yeah, we're going to have a couple of Unwelcome to Dallas events, one on July 26th and another one on July 30th. So you ought to come to one of those anti-ALEC meetings.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. We're going to actually be watching a Koch brothers movie on the 26th at the Union Hall, which should be interesting.
Okay, let's put this caller on the air. Good morning. Thanks for calling KNON.
Would you say an unwelcome party?
Yes, an Unwelcome to Texas party.
I believe it. I've been trying to get a hold of Miss Johnson or Jeb Hensering.
Oh, well, you want to talk to him.
You don't want to talk to him?
Not necessarily, no, ma'am.
Well,
Is he running alongside her?
They're both in the phone book.
Eddie Bernice Johnson is a Democrat. Jeb Hensling is a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if he owns 2 or 3 islands.
I have no idea. What if he owns anything. He's an interesting individual.
Yeah. Well, I was concerned. I used to work for the schools in Dallas and in Mesquite.
Oh, okay.
And I know what they used to feed the children. They had beautiful, beautiful lunches.
Really?
And now they have is like tacos, burritos, microwave stuff.
Gracious.
Maybe a couple.
Why is that?
A cup of fruit, maybe.
Why did they change?
I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But I can remember washing about 200 to 300 legs of chicken, and we always had different things that we could feed them.
Uh-huh.
If they didn't like the chicken legs, fried chicken legs. We had chicken fried steak. We had fish on Friday with cheese noodles, maybe early peas, and we always had Jell-O.
Is it time to eat yet?
I
I'm hearing about all
I
this.
didn't bring my snack.
Yeah, we had hot rolls. Some of these little children don't get anything to eat at home.
Yes,
true.
ma'am. That's very true. There's a big article in yesterday's paper about the summer feeding program that City Square is
I heard
very
about
involved
that.
in. Yeah.
I was very interested in that.
Well, you should reach out to City Square because I know they're always looking for volunteers.
That's for the summer, though. I mean, all through the year. Now, I only went to work in the kitchens, so I could kind of see. Now, this was way back in the 70s and 80s, so I could see what kind of future my little girl was going to be running into.
Sure.
She had an attempted robbery on her in the first grade.
Oh, my goodness.
By a huge black girl that snuck over to the little children's bathroom, and she tried to grab she tried to get my daughter to go in the bathroom, and my daughter wouldn't do it.
Oh, that's good.
But they did have a bathroom from the playground. And the only bathroom was the big kids' bathroom. And they didn't have a teacher watching that bathroom or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the little kids that have to go into this, the 5th and 6th grade kids' bathroom. And that's where she really got it.
She got robbed or attempted robbery.
She was wild. And
sure.
she was a little punk rocker in the 80s, and she hung around downtown down there on Elm Street. Those kids were rough.
I must say.
You know, if you messed around with them, they were punkers.
Do you think they cut the food to the children because of they wanted to save money?
Yeah, I think you can make Mexican food cheaper than you can make anything.
Because the Republican platform that was just released said that they wanted to cut spending on schools at all levels. You know, I mean, the little kids, the kindergartens. And,
they can't learn if they don't have the nutrition.
Yeah,
they need protein for the brain.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes them alert and learn.
You got a good point there.
But if they're getting all these starches and corn and beans and grease and, you know, stuff like that.
Cheap stuff.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't really learn. They get all bogged down and get tired, and they want to go home and take a nap.
I don't think these budget cutters are even interested in helping the children.
No, I'm sure they're not.
They're
not interested in educating the children. That's certainly true.
Mm-hmm.
I should have been a dietitian, probably.
Maybe
because
so.
I had to raise my granddaughter for 9 years for my daughter and son-in-law. And I made sure she had vegetables every day, fruit.
Yeah.
She gets the protein.
We got to take a break. Thanks so much
Thank
for
you
calling.
for calling, Miss O'Neill.
She got a
We
wonderful
appreciate it.
breakfast.
Okey-doke. And then it comes Saturday
morning.
972-647-1893. If you would like to call us, we love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
We were going to get around to talking about the mayor's conference.
Yes, and our little
254 mayors, I
something
think,
like
are
that.
down there at
Bunch
the
of buses
Omni.
full.
I hope some of them are listening.
I hope they are too. I hope Mike Rawlings is listening.
Because if you're a mayor and you're listening and you want to know who it was standing across the street from the hotel yesterday, yelling our lungs out,
That would be us.
saying "Don't be wise, don't privatize."
That's right.
And holding signs that said "Don't privatize our schools," and saying that Mayor Rawlings should back off on this.
Back off.
That was us.
That was us.
So
Yes,
call us
us
up and tell us what you think.
Texas Organizing Project was there. We had some AFT folks were there, some retirees, CWA, UAW.
We had Reverend Ed Middleton.
Reverend Middleton,
So we had
Juanita Wallace from NAACP.
I'm going to start calling her the great Juanita Wallace, because I'll tell you, that woman is good.
She's a
Is
trooper,
good.
I'll tell you.
She's the best ally that you have, brothers and sisters. She's the best ally that you have if you don't want the schools privatized.
She's on your side.
She certainly is, and she's a great spokesperson.
Yep.
972-647-1893 if you want to join us in saying "Be wise, don't privatize," or if you want to tell us that we're full of it. 972-647-1893. This station likes it either way.
Sure, I don't care.
So you can call and insult Gene and Bonnie. That'll be okay.
If that's all you got to do today, I feel sorry for you. Today at 5 o'clock at the Pan African Connection Bookstore, Art Gallery, and Resource Center, which is across from Fair Park, it's kind of right there. Robert B. Cullum is the street that runs in front of Fair Park.
It sounds hard to find.
It does, but it's really not.
If you get off on 2nd Avenue, get off the freeway on 2nd Avenue, going down toward Fair Park, you see it. It's the biggest building down there on your right.
Yep.
So all you got to do is get off, and I think it's Ash Street you turn on.
I think so.
And it's right there.
Yep. And they're going to have a remembering Cheney, Goodman, and Schwerner, and those were the 3 young men who were murdered by the Ku Klux Klan.
This is not the exact date, is it? I think it was Thursday.
I think it was Thursday.
Either Thursday or Friday, but I think it was Thursday. Was the exact date, the exact anniversary.
And of course, Thursday was also Juneteenth.
You know, people don't pay enough attention to our heroes, working people's heroes.
That's right.
These were young men that went to Mississippi to register voters.
Yep.
Right in the middle of the Ku Klux Klan.
God love them.
And were murdered. They were tortured and murdered. And their bodies were hidden, and nobody would say anything. Everybody knew who did it, and nobody would say a thing. And that's the way it was.
Yep.
I think it was 1963.
Yep, I think it was
That's
too.
the way it was. I'm old enough to remember that it really was like that. And eventually, there was enough pandemonium was raised that the FBI finally did something about it.
Finally.
That's why I said the movie was kind of a misrepresentation, because in the movie the FBI jumped right on it, and said, "Oh, let's go find it.
let's go." That's not really
go down there and correct this terrible situation."
That's not really what happened.
But in truth, the FBI was so busy spying on Martin Luther King and trying to ruin the civil rights movement that they certainly were not interested in Cheney, Warner, and Goodman.
We can't be messing around with those kids.
But eventually they did. The federal government, of course, was much, much better than the local sheriff, but the local sheriff was probably in on it.
Well, that's in the movie he was.
And the state people were not any good. We had governors at that time standing up for the Klan, standing against black people. But the federal government could finally be pushed into doing something, and they finally did. They went down and dug up the three boys, and I think they did make some arrests. I don't know if anybody ever spent time in jail.
I don't know. I don't think anyone was ever convicted, which is just disgusting. But hey, it happens all the time.
Well, I don't remember if they got convictions or not, but I don't think they spent any time in jail on it.
Probably not.
I know that Viola Liuzzi, when she was murdered, one of the people in the car was a FBI agent. So they knew perfectly well who killed Viola Liuzzi. 972-647-1893 if you'd like to talk to us about civil rights today and civil rights of the past.
And speaking of civil rights,
we could talk about the privatization of the schools in Dallas right now, because
our community, our schools, is going to meet at the Alliance AFT on Wednesday at 11:30. This is a coalition of, I don't know, probably 25 or 30 groups. It's quite funny.
I think it's 23 groups.
23.
It's the largest coalition I think we've ever had in Dallas.
I think so.
And it's the broadest coalition. It goes all the way from parents, and labor is in it.
Yep.
Now, just saying that is pretty astounding, because up till about a year ago, you never saw labor in coalitions.
It was really kind of funny yesterday. One of the reporters, a well-known reporter here in Dallas, television reporter, asked me, well, what does labor have to do with this issue?
Well, for one thing, they're going to take away the teachers' union.
I said, well, AFT is a union that represents the teachers, and they are, in fact, part of the AFL-CIO.
Right.
Oh.
They're the biggest part of it.
Yeah.
They're the biggest union.
I did mention to him, I asked him if he had met Mark York yet, the new secretary-treasurer of the AFL-CIO, Dallas Central Labor Council. He said, no, he hadn't met him yet. I said, you really should go talk to him, because it's a new day for labor in the city of Dallas.
And it's not just a new day for labor in Dallas, because they intend to transform Dallas.
Yep.
This is kind of astounding, but the executive vice president of the national AFL-CIO came in. Tafari Gabray, and he came in on Thursday and talked to the union folks and told them, you're going to have to get out in the community, and we're going to reverse the kind of situation that you have in Dallas.
That's right.
And he knows whereof he speaks.
Yes.
Because he already did this.
He sure did.
He did it in
Orange County, California.
And a lot of people don't think Orange County is worse than Dallas. But
it really is.
I still don't know if it's worse than Dallas.
Well, I think we're right up. We're probably really close
in being
anti-worker, and in the disparity in income.
He said something interesting. He said the John Birch Society was originated in Orange County. I always thought it originated here in Dallas. General Edwin Walker lived here, but anyway. The John Birch Society, as far as Texas is concerned, was centered here in Dallas. But he said that the John Birch Society actually started in Orange County. Anyway, they changed the situation there dramatically. They started, when he got into the Central Labor Council, they had a staff of 2.5 people and 2 people, on full-time and 1 on half-time. And by the time he'd been there 5 years, they had a staff of 18.
Yep.
And they were actually transforming that county.
Incredible.
It was
Incredible
a Republican. It was a
things.
solidly Republican county, which they made it a solidly Democratic county.
Yep.
And jobs got better, wages got better. A lot more people joined unions, and really that's the best way you can improve things is to get a union, because otherwise the bosses have got you by the throat.
That's right. And it's it's pretty interesting that they started just knocking on doors and asking labor, if you put in $1 and I can match it with $4, will you help us?
Was it $4?
I think that was the start.
Well, he told us $1. He said if we raise $1, the national will give us $1.
Yeah. Oh, yes, locally. But
Here
he
in
also, right here in Dallas, but in Orange County, he was actually successful in reaching out to some of the large foundations.
And they're doing this in Houston.
Yeah.
They've been doing this in Houston for the last couple of years. In fact, they've got a mailing list of something like 40,000 people that they just knocked on their doors. And these are not union members. These are people where the union people went out and knocked on their doors and asked them if you want to join this network, if you want to start turning things around, make things different here. And they're going to do that in Dallas.
Yep. I'm
Starting
excited.
now.
Starting now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we really already have started.
Mm-hmm. If you want to transform Dallas, you want to talk about transforming Dallas, give us a call, 972-647-1893. The station likes it when you call, 972-647-1893. So, what did you think when you heard Teferi Gabre say that?
I was really excited because at the CLLI, the Community Labor Leadership Institute that I attended back last month in San Antonio, we had two representatives that actually work at the OC CLC and Central Labor Council, and they showed us the plan, if you will, of where they started and how they grew the Labor Council and the labor movement in Orange County. And it was very inspiring, and hearing him stand there and tell that story again and really reiterate how they did it. I do believe we can do it here. I believe we can.
Was that a caller want to be on the air now?
No.
Just a caller, didn't want to be on the air.
Gotcha.
Okay. 972-647-1893 if you'd like to call, make your point, you make your case to the people of North Texas. Well, this is the place to do it. I don't know if you realize that we reach 9 counties here, the Workers Beat program does. 972-647-1893. Well, I felt that it is possible to make these transformations. We've been doing some kind of planning meetings, 2 or 3 a month, since last November.
Yes, we have.
And so we have quite a bit of strategic planning under our belts already.
And we're getting really close.
And I think that the anti-ALEC protests, when we protest the American Legislative Exchange Council, I think we will see the biggest and broadest and deepest coalition that Dallas has ever seen. See, the school issue, the privatizing of the school, is very closely related because the biggest privatizers in America is called ALEC, American Legislative Exchange Council. So when they come here, I feel that everybody that is as interested in not privatizing the schools will turn out for that, and will be joining with us in coalitions. And so it's not going to be just labor out there. It's going to be largely community. It's going to be mostly community.
Did you know that Fred Koch, the founder of the Koch Industries, was one of the founding members of the John Birch Society?
Yeah, I did know that.
Isn't that special?
Yeah, I've got that movie.
It was actually established in Indianapolis, Indiana on December 9th, 1958.
So that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Well, Indiana's been very reactionary. They passed their voter suppression law before Texas.
Yes, they were ahead of us on that one. We don't know how that happened, Texas.
How could anybody get ahead of
Texas, man? I'm telling you. Woo. Yeah, folks, I see more and more people coming out to these protests that I've not seen before.
It's true.
New folks, old, young, middle-aged, folks that I have not seen before. And that to me is very exciting because you and I have been doing this for a while.
It's true.
And we've been standing up for a while.
And used to,
now,
we would say, well, I know everybody that's going to be there.
That's right.
It's always the same people.
That's right. That's exactly right. You could hold up 2 hands and go, okay, I know who's going to be there. But now, I mean, I was really impressed yesterday. We had some new faces, some teachers that were, really out there.
There's a group called the Dallas Friends of Education or something like that. There's a whole bunch of groups that really aren't Friends of Education, but there are some that are Friends of Education.
Yes.
And they were there, standing on the street with us across from the Omni Hotel during the mayor's conference. And what was really cool about that was when the mayors all got in these buses and they were going to go on tours of Dallas, and they had to drive right by us. And
yes,
in fact,
it was
they had to drive
great.
right into us. As they were coming out the driveway, they were looking right at us.
We wanted to make sure everyone saw us.
And we were out there saying, Mayor Rawlings, back off on privatization.
That's right.
So that was cool. Call us at 972-647-1893. We love it when you call.
I think we missed the last. Did you stay? I think there was
one last bus. Yeah,
there was one last bus because
and then
when
a little thing went with it.
Okay, when I drove, when I was driving away, I went down Lamar because I was trying to figure out where they were going. Yeah. They were not at Eddie Dean's, and they were not at Gillies. So
well, they were probably doing a tour of the town.
No, they weren't gone long enough.
They had motorcycle escorts.
Right, and they took the 2 buses that left first. Actually dropped all those people off and came back and picked up another load of people. So I couldn't figure out where they were going. We thought for sure they'd be down on South Lamar.
Yeah, they were going to dinner.
Maybe they were. I don't know.
Anyway, they all got the treat of seeing us.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty exciting.
I was just delighted to see that we had such a good opportunity to see so many people, so many cars.
And the Baptist convention is there too.
National Baptists were meeting.
So we saw lots of those folks.
Not the Southern Baptists.
No, not the Southern Baptists.
This is the progressive group, the National Baptists.
Yeah, yep.
And they were very nice when we leafleted them.
Yeah.
I went down there at lunchtime and leafleted them. We leafleted several mayors and a lot of people from the National Baptists, and they were quite nice. And some of them stopped and talked. There were 2 ladies from Chicago that were talking about privatizing. They privatized the parking meters in Chicago. They did, and the city has to pay all kinds of money to this company that now owns all their parking meters.
Boy, that was kind of dumb.
Yeah, if the city closes a street, they still have to pay the
parking meter guy?
Yeah, because if cars can't go down that street, then the parking meter guys can't make money on it. So if the city has to close a street, to plug a hole or something, they have to pay the parking meter people. So they're making billions of dollars out of this.
That is messed up.
Privatizing. I made this point when I was talking to all the television people down there. Privatizing always leads to taking away our jobs and cutting our services.
That's right.
It always does. That's why they do it. So we have to stand against privatizing all the time. And I want to bring up the worst case of privatizing that I ever heard of, and it came right here in Dallas, Texas. But you can call us at 972-647-1893. But think about this one. There's a guy who lived here in Dallas. He was a big contributor to the Republican candidates, especially Governor Rick Perry. He has died now and has gone some other place, but his company is still running. It's called Waste Specialists. They are piling nuclear wastes out in West Texas on top of an aquifer, the Oglala Aquifer, which is the water supply for 8 states. They're piling nuclear waste out there.
And it's leaking.
It's a private company, and they are taking nuclear waste. See, for years, nobody knew what to do with nuclear waste.
Right.
The government could not put it anywhere, so they got a contract. They privatized it. And they started putting what they call, just medical waste. They said it's all they're going to take, just the little bitty things, a few little stuff left over from the X-ray machines and stuff like that. But now they're wanting to take all the nuclear waste and pile it out there. That is the worst case of privatizing I ever heard of, and we'll be back right after this break. We're back on the Workers Beat, and you can be back with us at 972-647-1893. Bonnie's working her phone to try to remember the name of the guy who started the Waste Management Solutions here in Dallas, and they're now piling up the nuclear waste in West Texas on top of the Oglala Reservoir, or aquifer, rather, which is the water supply for 8 states. And they're just going to pile on the nuclear waste as long as they can. That is the privatizing thing for you. Privatizing, you cannot find examples of privatizing that did not cut jobs and cut services. I mean, that's why they do it.
That's right. That's right.
They do it to save money. And your trash collection, your prisons are already privatized, and
that's why
it's lousy.
They're so full.
And that's why people are making money out of things they shouldn't be making money out. You shouldn't be making money out of running the prison system, because as soon as you start doing that, you say, hey, you know what we could do? We could just starve all these prisoners to death, and then we would make even more money.
Oh, yeah.
And
just think.
And that's
and just
kind
think
of the
how many more people we could bring in.
Mm-hmm. That's the dynamic of it. Mm-hmm. So you're giving up what should be a government service.
Okay, so we got
making it worse. You got the guy's name?
Dean Buntrock and Wayne Husinger.
There must be the current.
No, it says that's the founder
of Waste Management Specialist. Well, the guy just died last year. I thought he was the founder. But anyway, he was the head of it. 972-647-1893. We like to talk about privatizing, but you can talk about something else if you want to. 972-647-1893. The Cheney, Goodman, and Schwerner and Goodman thing is today.
Yes.
Showing how much progress we've made in civil rights.
Or haven't made. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm so sorry.
Well, if they privatize the schools, it'll be a setback for civil rights for certain.
It'll be
because one of the things they can do in a charter school that they can't do in a public school is just get rid of any kid they want to. In a public school, you have a system. You have
due process.
Due process.
Yeah.
And they can't just kick your kid out on the street, but in a charter school they can.
Yeah. And what happens?
If they make a charter district out of this whole district, they'll say, well, this kid here is costing us too much money, you know.
So just kick the kid out and
just kick them out.
So where do they go to school then?
They go out and get a gun and rob you. That's what,
that's school.
That's what I think they're going to do, because
I gotcha.
Because if you're not responsible to the kids, why do you think they're going to be responsible to you? You know, why do you think they're going to be responsible grown-up adults that's going to help people and stuff like that?
Doesn't make you wonder, doesn't it?
What they're going to do is get a gun and become bandits or something, because people don't just give up, you know, when you're mean to them.
No.
They come back to be mean to you. 972-647-1893. Bonnie and I are really proud that we went out yesterday on the privatizing issue and jumped on the mayor about it. You know, not everybody wants to do that. They feel that, in fact, the Dallas Morning News had this big, long article in the paper yesterday about what a great mayor he is and how everybody loves him. And how he never made no mistakes whatsoever.
Ever. He's perfect.
Yeah. But
that's kind of what it said. You know, he's just wonderful.
Said he could be reelected in a New York minute if he wants
if he wants to run. It's his to get. It's his to have.
They did that because
wanted to throw up.
They did it because the mayor's conference was in town yesterday,
and they want to make him look good.
Yeah, they want to make Dallas mayors look good.
You know what the heck? It's like that. I'm sorry. There was a large sucking sound coming from over there at the Dallas Morning News.
Well, they're the head of the Citizens Alliance.
Well, there you go.
You know what that means.
They're sucking up to the mayor.
Sure. And he sucks up to them, too. That's why they're trying to privatize the schools. But I don't know if he's perfect or not, or whether he's the best mayor you could get. It's not a matter of bad-mouthing the man.
No.
But when he's wrong, you should tell him he's wrong. I mean, even if he's your best friend.
You should tell him that he's wrong.
Yeah, even if you love him to death and he's your best friend, you should tell him when he's wrong. And he's wrong on privatizing the schools. Here's the logic they're using. They're saying, well, the schools are far from perfect. They're saying our schools are not as good as they could be, or something like that. Well, yeah, maybe so. But then they say, well, the answer is to privatize. That's the part where they're lying.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
Privatizing is not going to help anything. Even when they try to come up and say, if we privatize, we'd do this or we do that. The stuff that they're recommending has either already been tried and didn't work, or it's something that they could do without privatizing.
You know, Bill Betson is an incredible statistician, and he works really hard putting numbers together and crunching numbers and comparing. And the entire time that Mike Miles was over the Harris district in Colorado, there were failings. The school fell. Their performances fell. And since he's been here in Dallas, the performances have fallen. The scores have fallen. We have good schools here in Dallas. Unfortunately, we have a disproportionate number of Anglos taking up positions in these good schools that should rightfully belong to children of color.
That's true. I heard that researcher, Sarah something.
Yeah.
She said that in the top magnet schools it's like 60% white, whereas the district is 90% not white.
Of children of color, exactly. How do you get, and I know for a fact there are children that live in Plano that are going to Booker T. Washington High School and not paying a stinking dime.
I see.
That's not right.
Yep.
You know, these schools.
I can explain about the magnet schools. 972-647-1893 if you want to call and get in on this. I'll explain about the magnet schools. It's very simple. We realized back in the 60s when school reform was on everybody's minds, we realized that something would have to be done for integration. In other words, what really is the difference between a bad school and a good school is not the kids, it's not the school either, it's not the teachers, it's the parents. It's always been the parents, and it always will be. So what they had to do, if they wanted to like spread the parents here and there, they had to integrate the schools. But they immediately ran into problems, especially with the white parents, because they said, well, we've been getting the best schools for a long time without having to pay anymore, and so we want to keep our hands on the best schools.
That's right.
So they invented magnet schools. And the magnet schools are not schools that are designed to help the students in some way. They are designed to get those mean parents. And they're not all white parents. Some of them are Latinos and some of them are black. But they're the parents who are very, very concerned about their children. And from the point of view of the school administration, those are the mean parents.
That's right.
They're the ones that are always coming up and saying, why don't you treat my kids better?
Yeah.
Well, if you can put all of them in those magnet schools and spend a little more money on them, then they're out of the way. That is the whole purpose and that they created magnet schools. And that is why some of the best magnet schools in this area are full of white kids, because they got the meanest parents. They got the parents that the school doesn't want to deal with.
And that is just wrong. Wrong.
We got another caller?
Yeah, we have, she wants to remain anonymous. So
okay, anonymous. Good morning. Thanks for calling Knon.
Yeah, you're talking about, you talked about the civil rights of those 3 civil rights that were killed in 64.
Yes.
Was it 64? I thought it was 63, but anyway.
I mean, okay, yeah, you're right. What you don't mention is that the FBI director, J. Edgar Hoover, asked the mafia to help, find the 3 civil rights workers.
Is that
and, it is. And he told them to do it their way. And if you've seen the movie Mississippi Burning, yeah, where it shows that Gene Hackman started getting more physical with the people, the citizens there at Mississippi. Yeah, so that was true. That part was true.
You think the movie Mississippi Burning was a pretty good depiction of the whole story?
Well, the way the story. The true story, I mean, they didn't want to talk. Nobody wanted to say anything. So that's why he sent the mafia. Too many months just kept passing and passing, and it was costing the government too much money, and they knew somebody. A lot of people knew about it and where they were, so that's why he asked Mathias to do it. But the other thing, the program before yours, they were talking about police brutality and all that.
Yeah.
And he mentioned the Rodriguez brothers, but what they don't talk about is the one before what happened to the Rodriguez brothers, and that's Michael Moorhead. What happened to him, people don't know this, but this happened in the Wynwood Village.
Mm-hmm. This is in Dallas.
And the officer came, he was off that day. And the other thing is that he thought he would go and help after he heard that the police were searching for some suspects. Mm-hmm. But what he never could explain himself is that the suspects, none of them were even black. Mm-hmm. And the one he killed was black. And the other thing is they were at the Wynwood Village Shopping Center. They were last seen running at the Hancock parking lot. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is was the age of these suspects. They were younger than the Rodriguez brothers.
I see.
They were under 10.
No kidding.
And I think the oldest was there was one that was the oldest of the others. I'm just going to guess 9, and the other ones were 8. Well, and the reason I remember this is because when all this was happening, the Rodriguez brothers and the Guzman brothers, and when this was happening, they were still talking about JFK and Oswald. Mm-hmm. And they're blaming Oswald for killing JFK. Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, what about this? How could you, none of it, it didn't feel right. It was wrong. Sure. But I couldn't do anything about it, but I knew it was wrong.
Well, you said nobody talked about it, and now you did.
Yeah.
It's been
the article's missing. The article is not there at the Dallas Morning News.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody took it out.
Yeah, I see what you mean. All right, thanks so much for calling KNON. She said nobody talked about it, but now we did.
That's right. And it was June 21st, 1964.
Was 64?
Yep,
she was right about that.
Sure was. Mm-hmm. Yep, June 21st, 1964.
Well, so is today.
Today.
Today's the anniversary.
Cheney, Goodman, and Schwerner were murdered on this day. Mm-hmm. Yep. They were missing for 44 days. They finally found their bodies.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're going to be celebrating it, or rather, commemorating it.
Yes.
Over at
Pan African Connection. Yes, right across from Fair Park. Today. Yep. Monday, don't forget the White House Summit on Working Families, which is at Eddie Bernice Johnson's office on McKinney. Very good. That's from 8 to 5:30.
You want to get with the president right now because they are actually trying to raise wages.
Yep.
They realize that the economy is going to tank if they don't do something. The wealth disparity is driving this economy out of existence.
Yeah, I mean, people don't understand if workers don't have money to spend, then nothing will grow.
You can't starve people and expect them to buy
anything. Yeah. I mean, and they're just talked the other day about how groceries are going up, beef is going to be higher because of the drought, eggs are going to be higher because of the chickens. I don't know.
I had all this explained to me one time, and it's a very good explanation. The explanation is this. In order for an economy like ours to function, people have to buy stuff. And so they're not just workers, they're also consumers.
Right.
So you can't stop there being consumers and have the system go on. In other words, you cannot starve the workers and continue to have capitalism. However, he went on to say, they will always try.
There you go. Capitalism does not exist without labor. Mm-hmm. Labor can exist without capitalism.
That's true. But the capitalists will always try to starve you to death.
Oh, exactly.
Even though it's cutting their own throats. So the president's trying to do something about it.
Yeah. Well, you know this new guy that just got elected, Cantor lost in Virginia. I have a question, Gene. He says that we're all going to hell in a handbasket unless we get back to Christian capitalism.
What is Christian capitalism?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Well, I
you're smart.
hope he's serious, because my friend Dr. Jorg Rieger can show you all kinds of places in the Bible where it says you're supposed to treat the workers right.
Right.
You're supposed to pay them on time, and you're supposed to take care of them and stuff like that.
So you think that's what he means?
Maybe that's Christian capitalism. Maybe that's what he means.
I'm not thinking that's what he means, though. I'm thinking he's got another verse somewhere that he's practicing.
There's some people so full of hate that they actually try to make the Bible sound like it's full of hate, too. You know,
there's a really cool.
That makes the good Christians feel really bad.
Yes, it does. Yes, you know, it's very frustrating. Mary showed me a Bible that Dr. Rieger has, and she actually bought a copy. It's about poverty and justice, and it has all of the passages in the Bible
take care
highlighted.
Of the children. That's in there.
Take care of the children.
It's all over the New Testament.
Take care of those the lesser of us. Feed the poor. Feed the hungry, clothe them. I am just so confused.
And the rich man cannot get into heaven?
Because he can't even, because it'll pass through just like the camel passes through the eye of a needle.
Yeah, if the camel could go through the eye of a needle, then a rich man could get into heaven.
So,
but that's what it says.
That's what it says.
So maybe that's
right.
what the guy means by Christian capitalism.
I don't know. I don't think that's right, but I think he's thinking... I don't know what he's thinking. Some stinking thinking is what I'm thinking.
Well, we love doing the Workers Beat program.
Yes, we do.
And we appreciate it so much that KNON lets us do it.
I hope you guys...
gives us a chance to talk about things from the working people's point of view.
We really need folks to come out to this our community, our schools meeting on Wednesday at 11:30. That's going to be at the AFT Hall, which is at 334 Center Street, Centre, and that's in the Bishop Arts District. So
that's a good coalition, but I think that the Democratic Party, the anti-ALEC meeting at the Democratic Party
next Saturday,
on August 28th.
Is that next Saturday? It is next Saturday. Yes.
June 28th. At 10 o'clock will be a chance to get together and build the largest and broadest coalition we have ever seen in Dallas.
That's right.
We'll be back next week.
Yes,
and
we will.
Appreciate you for listening. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.